Hi guys, today we're exploring the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, and trust me, there's way more to these characters than you probably thought. We've got wild origin stories, hidden powers, and even a few references you might have missed. Just keep in mind this video contains manga spoilers, so now, let's get started. Alright, let's start with the guy who kicks it all off, Percival. So creator Nakaba Suzuki chose Percival to be the lead of the sequel series because he wanted someone different. Not an edgy or overly serious hero, but someone cute. Seriously, everything about Percival, from his oversized cloak to that helmet, was designed to give off this wholesome, innocent energy, and it works. By the way, Percival isn't even a regular human. He was raised by Varghese. But Percival is actually a life spirit placed inside a human body by his sort of father, Ironside. Percival's magic is known as Hope, a rare and unique hero-type magic. While most magic types are categorized into specific classes like Destroyer, Healing, or Enchanter, Percival's magic encompasses multiple categories simultaneously. Initially, Percival was the only character to display this type of magic. However, there are now 3 known users: Percival himself, Diodora, and Lancelot. He also developed incredible breath control from living on God's finger, a place so high up the air is extremely thin. This harsh environment forced him to adapt and train his body in ways few others could. Next up, Gawain, the Sunforged Knight. Gawain is royalty. She was raised in Camelot, adopted by Sir Kay, who's Arthur's brother, and her adoptive granddad is King Uther, which makes Arthur Pendragon her uncle. But don't think for a second she's just some background character. Gawain is the only female knight in the Four Knights lineup. And her weapon, the sacred sword Rita, was forged from a piece of Escanur's divine axe, and it's so heavy that only she can lift it. Just like how Escanur was the only one who could wield his own axe. There's also a cool nod to Arthurian legend tucked into her story. She's got a bit of a crush on Princess Isolde. And there's this playful rivalry with Tristan about it. Now, that's not something that was that much explored in the story, even though you could see the hints of this crush early on when Gawain appeared. Speaking of Tristan, let's talk about the Prince of Pestilence himself, Tristan Leoness. So originally, Nakaba planned to make Tristan the main protagonist of this whole sequel. Which makes sense, he's Meliodas and Elizabeth's son, big expectations. But later on, Suzuki decided to shift gears and introduced Percival as a brand new hero, pushing Tristan to a more supportive role. Now Tristan has some quirky preferences. His absolute favorite food, fish pie from the Yawn of the Black Cat Tavern. But not just any fish pie, it has to be the exact recipe Zartres used to make. And here's something fun out of him, Percival and Lancelot, he's the arm wrestling champ. The dude's competitive, but let's talk about those eyes. Tristan possesses heterochromia, his right eye is blue, like Elizabeth's, and his left eye is green, like Meliodas's. When he taps into his goddess powers, both eyes display a golden triskelion-shaped symbol, and he can manifest ethereal white-feathered wings for flight. Conversely, activating his demon powers causes his eyes to turn jet black, with branch-like lines extending from them, and a large black mark appears on his forehead in the shape of a 4-pointed star. Tristan also leads his own squad, the Tristan Platoon, just like Percival does. Alright, last but definitely not least, let's get into Lancelot, the Fox Knight of War. This guy's half fairy, half human, born from Ban and Elaine. So right away, we know he's got some unique bloodlines going on. And it shows in weird ways. For one, he smells like lemon, yeah. It's subtle, but it's apparently a fairy thing. He also picked up the Fukushima dialect just by being around people who speak it. No formal training, just pure observation and mimicry. That's crazy attention to detail. And check this, even though he's right-handed, he chooses to fight left-handed. Just because, according to him, it looks cooler. He's also got a super high alcohol tolerance. While Ban and Elaine would get drunk fast, Lancelot barely feels a thing. Kind of funny considering Gane's whole backstory. But being half fairy doesn't mean he can fly, at least not in his normal form. Unlike his mom, Elaine, Lancelot can't fly unless he transforms into his Shin form, another reminder of his half-human limitations. Now when it comes to food, Lancelot's into salty or sour stuff, which makes him the total opposite of Gawain's dessert addiction. And he's also ranked number 2 in cooking skills among the knights, only Gawain's better. And for the last fact, when Tristan was only 10, he had this intense sparring match with Lancelot that ended up being a huge turning point for him. Mid-fight, he completely lost control of his demon powers and accidentally hurt Lancelot, bad enough to leave a scar on his forehead. That moment really shook Tristan. It made him afraid of what he was capable of and kind of hesitant to fight after that. So if you liked the video, consider giving it a like and subscribing, and that was it for today.